Nino, can you see this slide and can you hear me? Great. Welcome, everyone. My name is 𝘗𝘠𝘪𝘳. I'm the program coordinator for the MA in African Studies, which is one of our flagship programs. And I'll talk a bit about the program today, but also a bit about the University of Bayreuth, and I'm happy to answer any questions at the end of my presentation. So Bayreuth is an hour north of Nuremberg. It's in Bavaria, a small town. 1/4 of the town is really made up of university students from all over the world, including many different parts of Germany. We have a beautiful campus, so you have this campus vibe that you might not have in many other German universities that are located in cities, but we really are all together in a sort of campus environment that you can see here. Our university is quite young, 1975. We have 281 professors. You can see the campus on the left as well. Quite a few international professors, lots of students, 13,000 almost at this point, with almost 3,000 students being international. So you get a sense that, you know, it's quite a vibrant community. And we have multiple faculties, from maths and physics all the way to the life sciences. The course that I'm presenting, the MA in African Studies, is within Faculty 5, which is the cultural sciences, where we have sociology, politics, anthropology, history, religion, and a number of other disciplines. And here you can see the university's study profiles. And what makes African studies super special in Bayreuth compared to other parts of Germany is that it's really a focus area of the entire university. So if you see this as the main areas that we consider our profile fields at the University of Bayreuth, African studies is central. It's not peripheral. It's not something that is pushed to the margins or that is somewhere in the back of a political science department. It's really its own institute with major research centers and teaching programs, as you will see in a second. So the University of Bayreuth is a leading center for research and teaching in African studies across Europe. You can see on the right side all the various different centers that we have, from a recent cluster of excellence, which gave us a lot of money for the next 8 years to do research on anything related to Africa, from legal studies to literature to sociology to politics to climate change. We have a huge arts program. We have the second biggest collection of books in Germany related to Africa. We have a new building that I'll show you in a second, a peace and conflict research network, a graduate school for African studies. So it's a really big, vibrant community that has existed for the last 50 years in Bayreuth and is the center for African studies in Germany, if not in Europe more broadly. Here's the new building. So we just received the cluster extension last week. This means that we've been given money by the federal government of Germany to continue doing research for the next 8 years in a number of thematic areas. You can see on the right-hand side the new building that we've just constructed, which is an African Studies focused center. So massive investments, a great community, not just for a master's degree, but also to potentially continue on for a PhD program, but just immerse yourself in all the activities that are ongoing at the University of Bayreuth. So to come to the MA in African Studies more specifically, you can take a picture of the QR code that takes you to the website of the program, where you can have a close look. It's a 2-year social science program. We have rather small class sizes. So, you know, we're talking about, in some cases, 10 to 15, in other cases, perhaps 20, but the idea is seminar style engagement, but also a research focus where we expect students to go and do independent research as well. It's an interdisciplinary program. So you pick, basically, in that sense, it's a flexible structure. You pick your focus. So we have anthropology, sociology, and politics, history, and religion. Those are the 4 areas that you can focus on. And within those, you sort of pick your focus. And, you know, you can become an expert on religious studies in Southern Africa. You can focus on politics in West Africa. It is up to you how you want to shape your course. To be more specific, in terms of the course structure, in the first year, everyone takes an introduction to African studies. You can see here A1 is introduction to African studies. Then you take a language course. We offer from Bambara to Swahili to German, English, French, Portuguese. Actually, I can show you all the different languages that we offer at our language center, including Swahili and Bambara, our African languages, but as well as Arabic. So you take an introduction to African studies, you take a language, and then you take 3 courses that are navigating the disciplines. So in the first semester, we want you to get exposure. You pick 3 out of these disciplines, and you get a sense of what is history actually, what is sociology and politics, what is anthropology, etc. In the second year, you specialize. So you pick one of these disciplines as your focus. So let's say you take sociology and politics, then you dismiss, don't look at this line or this line. Then it's about doing another interdisciplinary seminar, A2, a contemporary politics of knowledge course, another language course, and an elective, any course you'd like related to the social sciences. And then you take 2 courses in sociology and politics. So another 6 courses in your second semester. In your third semester, then we expect you to do this P1, which we call the study project, where we hope that you go abroad and do research. And then you can basically come back and use that research to write up your master's thesis. You also are expected to take another course in the third semester in your picked discipline, and another elective G course, again, open to you, whatever you want. So in your third semester, most of it is spent abroad doing research. You take 1 course in your specialization, and you take 1 elective as you please. And in your final semester, you basically are writing your master's thesis. So you have the master's thesis and a master's thesis research seminar and 1 elective. So there's a lot of introductory stuff in the first semester, specialization in the second semester. In the third semester, it's really about your research. And in the fourth semester, it's about your thesis. And that way you pick your focus area and navigate the program that way. Just to give you an example, this is the schedule of the current semester. Just to give you a sense of how many different courses one can take. So we have courses on Muslim politics in Tanzania, environmental justice and feminist political ecology. I'm teaching a course on infrastructures and political orders. We have on secularity in Africa. We have courses on resisting autocratization in Africa. The different colors represent some of the different disciplines. So blue here is sociology and politics. Purple here is religion, and green is history. Yellow is anthropology. But you get a sense that there's such a breadth of options for you to choose from that is quite unique in the German landscape when it comes to African studies. In terms of admissions requirements, basically we require you to have a bachelor's degree in the social sciences, humanities or history-oriented degree, but broadly the social sciences with a final grade of 2.5 or better. We expect language certificate at the level of B2, as well as it's a Bavarian law language certificate of A1 German, but you can do that within the first semester. So some of you who are not able to speak German yet would be able to take German courses as part of the degree program. And that would be your A1 course at the end of the first year of the program. And a motivation letter and a curriculum vitae, a CV. And for non-EU residents, the application deadline is July 15th. And for EU candidates, you have time until September to submit this through the portal. Just for you to get a sense of some of the student testimonials. So these are some of our current students. We have Eric from Burundi, Grace from Germany, and Mahmoud from Egypt. We've got quite an international group of students who all enjoy this. You can look these up on the university's Instagram page, as well as the university's web pages as well. Have a read of what the students say. Exactly. So to conclude, again, a nice image of our campus here, including the new building at the very bottom. You can see that's the African Studies department. You have access to world-renowned African Studies Research Hub. You have an interdisciplinary course where you can pick and choose what you prefer within the social sciences. You have an opportunity to go do research, actual field work, and see if you like research. You know, as master's students, you might have never done research before. You know, writing a bachelor's thesis is one thing, but actually collecting your own data and doing research is another. So great experience to then maybe pursue a research career after that. We've got a very international outlook with a student support that is really excellent. And of course, affordable tuition, in fact, no tuition beyond the semester fees. So a very affordable degree compared to, say, the UK or the United States when it comes to African studies. And yet you still get a world-class education. So that's us in Bayreuth. You can look up, find us on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Blue Sky. We have a webpage for the master's degree itself. And we look forward to receiving your applications. So if you have any questions, I'll stop sharing here, but thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for the presentation insights about the study program. Also, the program link is already in chat, and the MA Africa Studies at 𝘈𝘥𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘯𝘨 in case you have questions later. How to process that grade into the German system. I will post the calculator right now in chat. So there are two ways in case you want to. You can use either one from Fintiba or TUM, which can then convert your grade to German system. So Rasul, your question is answered. Can you provide examples of past student study projects?
Yes, Amanda. Anything, right? It's basically, you can, for instance, we have students who are working on Ghanaian diaspora, and their relationship to current host communities. And so what does it mean for the diaspora to return to their home countries, and how are they engaged, and how has the Ghanaian government, for instance, included them in their policies? Other projects, depending on what you do, look at the politics of urban infrastructure. So it's really people go to Tanzania, to Ghana. You go there for 2 months. You sit down, you interview people, you do surveys, depending on your methodology. So we support you in designing a project of your research project that you can then also use for your master's thesis. But yeah, the examples are plenty. It's really anything. And we have one student who was working on agribusinesses in Mozambique, looking at how they interact with local farmers. So the topics are really wide. That's what African studies is the only thing that brings African studies together, is a geographic region. But thematically, in terms of topics, in terms of disciplines, you can do a study of colonialism and go into the archives. You can study startups in Nairobi and digitalization, right? So it's really up to you. Anonymous attendee asks, are there specific courses that deal with Pan-Africanism? The courses change every year depending on what the instructors want to teach. So we've had courses certainly on colonial histories, on the state. We've had courses on liberation movements. So that deals with themes of Pan-Africanism, of course. We have a lot of interesting research on the Sahel at the moment. We have professors that work on Burkina Faso and West Africa, where you can currently see the reemergence of Pan-Africanist rhetoric. And so, absolutely, yes.
I missed, but are the alumnus of the, are you the alumnus of that course, and what are the job perspectives?
No, I think they're asking if there are alumni of the course. Yes, so we have alumni. It used to be called Kultur und Gesellschaft Afrika, or it used to be a different master's program. We renamed it 2 years ago, and we have restructured the course. So the MA in African Studies is now 2 years old. The new cohort coming in is the third cohort. So we are currently having the first cohorts finish this program this year. But we have many alumni from the last 30 years that have done this other course, Kultur und Gesellschaft Afrikas, Culture and Society in Africa, which is what the master's was called. The job prospects, as anything, I am not a graduate of the course. No, I am not. I didn't study at Bayreuth, if that's the question. In terms of what the students do, many of our students continue to do research because they enjoy the master's program and want to do perhaps a PhD or continue in think tanks. Others have the opportunity to work for international organizations in the development sector. Others also decide to go down into politics and policy. So it's really diverse. Like any social science degree, depending on what your focus is within that, you sort of find your job prospects. Yeah. And you can have a look.
As a follow-up on this topic.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say on our website, you can
Yeah, as a
also see, I think there's a lag. On the website, you can also see potential job careers with the degree. So have a look at the website and the FAQs in particular, where we have all of that listed. Yes, Nino, please.
Yes, I wanted to ask as a follow-up, because you mentioned professors doing research on different subjects when it was about Pan-Africanism. Is it possible to get student jobs within the faculty during in research groups, for example?
Absolutely. So am I still there? There was a quick lag.
Yes.
Great. Okay. Yes, absolutely. So we have student assistants that we need in various chair groups. So professors often look for students to support them with their day-to-day work, but we also have research positions for students. So our research projects currently are staffed where we have hired master students to support the research that is ongoing. So there are always opportunities. I forgot to mention, we have more than 40 professors that focus on African related things, from African legal studies to literature to politics, sociology, history, anthropology, etc., etc. So there's a lot of professors who are often looking for people to support them in their research. So there are ample opportunities to get involved, not just with your studies, but also with the research side of things. Absolutely.
Great. And going back to the question of career prospects, like on the page of Edu, which is created based on the main page of the program, you can see also career prospects here. You can see the target group. You can see if you are relevant, if you whatever was shown also visible here, study mode, career prospects, and then you have requirements. One important thing to apply, dear attendees, if you are considering, please take into account that you need to have VPD from UniAssist, for which you need to take care in advance, as it takes time to get this document, and then you apply to the online application form, which is, you see all the links here, and it will be already easy. CV and motivation letter was already mentioned, and also testimonials here, and this information already in chat. So yeah, just browse the course page. If you click on course website, it just brings you to the main page, which was also has all the Q&As, and like all your questions will be answered here as well. But if you also have further questions, please note the email that is already in chat. All
Yes.
right. I see no more open questions, but out of curiosity, because it's frequently asked about the housing, is it more or less affordable and possible to get housing in Bayreuth?
Yeah, the university has been investing a lot in affordable housing for students. Of course, like any city, it's always a difficult thing, and applying early makes sense because then you have time to figure it out before you arrive. We are not a large city, so it's a student city. The whole city is sort of focused on making sure that the students are welcome and integrated. So no one can guarantee you get immediate housing very easily at a very cheap price, but it is a university that has focused, and we're building new housing units as well for students. And lots of the housing is actually right next to campus, so you're very close to your teaching, and it creates this campus environment. So absolutely. We also support you with that. There's an international office where you can always reach out to them. We also have very useful information on various websites on accommodation. So just have a look. Absolutely. This is not
Great.
Berlin. It will be easier than Berlin for sure.
Exactly. How many students are in the group? It was, I think, 15 or so.
What
The
was the
question is,
question?
how many students are in the group?
How many students are in the group? There. Currently, we have about 10 students in this cohort, but we want up to 25 students. So that's the plan. That's where we're headed. We have the resources and the will and the willingness. I think there's a lot of one-to-one engagement with students as well. I think the ratio of student to teacher is excellent. So our students are really spoiled by the amount of contact time they have with professors. And yeah, we have the capacity to do more. We have many other courses that are adjacent, right? We have a MA in global history and MA in development studies, African studies, social and cultural anthropology. And so all of us are teaching in one way or another on multiple courses. And so all of these students, you might do different master's degrees, but you sit in classes with other students as well. You're not always sitting with students from your own degree, because you take electives from different courses. So, yeah.
Great. Nice perspectives. If you are interested in Africa studies, this is the place, as was mentioned already, concentrates, and they have lots of professors working on it and research going on, so you will be in the right place. Feel free to apply. If you have questions, feel free to contact Dr. Terefe.